All right, I think we are live. Yep, good evening. This is Andre Sanders down here in Jacksonville, Florida, of Overcoming the Odds. And we would just want to get right into as far as how to damage ignorance. And it's kind of funny. We have one more person supposed to be coming on the panel. She was asking, okay, what are you talking about that? Damage ignorance. Well, what's a good way to damage your ignorance? Obviously educate yourself. That was really the whole point of, telling this. So again, that's what we wanted to just straighten that up. And I do apologize for being a little bit later than normal. So without any further ado, let's go out to California.
Hi, everybody. This is Patricia Henry, and yes, sunny, hot California. I always seem to give the weather report around here. It's been in the 100 degrees, so I'm nice and cool inside with my air conditioner and fans running. So we're going to get underway about what the topic is. Ignorance. Don't call me ignorant. I'm not ignorant, especially if we educate ourselves. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, and really, when it comes to this topic, you can go so many areas because you got to think about it as well. Talk about damaging ignorance. There's a lot of ignorance going on because of. I'm going to be really straightforward with it. It's because of like what media does. People take it and run with it real quick. And something that I know reading a couple times from Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich and Outwitting the Double, as far as people will be quick to just take the information, the first bit of information they get, and run with it. And just really not sit back and it. I mean, there's a really reason why he has a book called Think and Grow Rich. Obviously with the first words being think part right then and there. Even other people, very successful entrepreneurs, I mentioned the same thing. Robert Kiyosaki, obviously the owner of Rich Dad, with him and his wife. And he mentioned it in his first two books. And, he called it out, too, as far as in the Capital Quadrant, where he said, yeah, it's a book as far as think and grow rich, not get rich and then think later, or something that he was implying, or work hard, then think. No. It's really about the thinking part. And when you do that, you want to go and do your own investigation. You want to do your own due diligence. You want to, do your own research. Topics, not just taking a run with it. Media will give you something, and people just go run with it, and this is really negative. And it's going to really research something. A perfect example, I just mentioned Kiyosaki. I've been listening to a lot of his podcasts with him and his wife. And at one time, I'd say, I'm going to go research something that's they mentioned about somebody who was the creator of 401ks. Again, you don't have to take my word for this. Go research this for yourself. The guy, his name, if I'm not mistaken, Ted B, if I'm not mistaken. And he, they mentioned, I think Kim Kiyosaki had said in that podcast that, Ted was really, he just felt bad for creating the 401ks in the first place because it was not cut out as to what it really is. And again, you don't have to take my word for it. You got this one great site right here, can really solve a lot of questions for people. They don't take the time to do so. And this is a thing called Google. That's what I did. I put his name. I said, okay, creator of 401ks. So bam, this something simple like that. I'm just doing this as an example because, this as far as just going to research something for yourself. And again, not bashing on if you do have a 401k. That's not the point. It's just kind of curious as far as that. And here's his name right here, Ted Beatum. That was his name. And like I said, the different articles right now, you don't have to take this one thing or just look at the negative or whatever, but, from somebody who obviously the inventor of it, who calls it a monster. And the reason why he mentioned that was because when it was listed in those fees that kind of hurt people other than really trying to help them out as far as, saving for retirement. Again, this is an example of actually damaging my own ignorance. I've never been a fan of that as well for 401k as well. Again, you have to do your own research. There are ways so you can get away with fees. Tony Robbins has a book, Money Masters the Game, mentions that as far as mutual funds, the paper assets and stocks and bonds. I had to damage my own ignorance because I was just hearing it, but I was like, let me go actually research. When you actually see, his name for yourself, it's like, oh my goodness. So really, it's the mindset behind it. That's really what I'm trying to apply here. what we really want to apply here. So, I mean, we're not going to make any type of, claims whatsoever. When you scroll down below this, you see our, income disclaimer, because not so much just the money. We're not guaranteeing. We're also not guaranteeing any type of results whatsoever. So, income disclaimer, as always. But the one thing about it is results are typical, but they can be very possible. So that's just something that you just have to keep in mind, is do your own due diligence, and no matter what it is that you do. Another example, and some of you might know, I've been playing semi-pro football here the last few years. I've seen different leagues, supposed to be paying leagues, that have screwed a lot of guys that I played with or played against in years past, because they didn't have their stuff, situated as far as the funds situated. People would be quick to talk about the home-based business profession, like, oh man, that's not legit or whatever. No, a lot of them are legit. But trust me, I've seen a lot of leagues, as far as, football leagues, American football, if you watch overseas, that have not been legit. I'm talking about going to a tryout one time, practicing, like the next, few days, it's already shut down before the league gets underway. That's what I'm talking about, little stuff like that. I've had teammates that had to drive down to Daytona, because I'm down here in Jacksonville. We're playing at some league that's supposed to pay. Those guys, at one point, they get paid for 4 weeks. Yeah, that's called not legit. You know why? Because they didn't do their own due diligence. And I warned them, and I was like, I don't feel something don't sound right about it. So just going to doing your own damage on those that ignorance. And the little something as simple as I just mentioned a few moments ago. Not so much Google, just go and read the stuff. A lot of people don't read on stuff. That's what I'm trying to imply. People just take it and run with it. And it's really sad. Patricia and I talk about this all the time outside of when we're done our hangouts. Like, a lot of people just don't do their own thinking, and it's like, we're sitting here going on tangents or something, and it's like, you're just not thinking. Think for yourself, but you actually do your research, so you got some type of facts to back up the thinking. That's what we're trying to apply here. And it goes in everything. So I mean, we covered a bit of examples, 2 different areas. And the thing is, you still got to just pretty much, obviously have your head on your shoulders and just like, just question stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with questioning stuff. Even I know my previous company, marketing company, like years ago, I had no idea what was going on. But, it was frustrating because I had a lot of people that already knew what was going on, like literally before, I think, Labor Day 2012. And I didn't find out till about late January 2013 that the company was about to go and shut down. FTC came and froze it, and then obviously it's sad that eventually the owner had shut it down, but a lot of people were gone to different places, whatever. So, because we didn't know any better, and because of what was going on, a lot of stuff as far as going on with the money, the reps were not getting paid the way they should have. And it's really unfortunate. So, it's something that we didn't do our own due diligence on. It wasn't a startup, by the way. That company had been around for like over 12 years. So I can't say it was, that it was something that was not legit. Some people did wonder about that as, after the fact, that were like, yeah, I'm wondering, like, as far as how the residual part was playing out. So kind of find out it's like the owner and I think one of his buddies had gotten paid a lot more than what they should have, after saying so many times in the presentation that they're not taking money except trying to put it out in the field. That wasn't true. So it kind of stinks, and I don't really blame the owner so much as his his attorney should have been able to see that right off the rip, because he had 3 attorney generals, and I actually had a picture of them. So it's kind of frustrating. Again, like I said, going back, do your own due diligence on something. Think for yourself. Don't still take it for what I'm saying or Patricia is saying, whatever. Just actually go and research things for yourself. Now, again, like I said, Google will be quick to put out the negative when it comes to something like home-based business. That's one thing I found out too in my previous company. People were quick to talk about that. What about a guarantee as far as maybe getting a job when you come out of college? I wasn't guaranteed. I didn't have a disclosure on that. You have all these student loans, so when you get that job and making maybe $30,000 to $40,000 a year, what's the disclosure as far as that? You see what I'm saying? It's kind of ridiculous. You got to have a disclosure for a business, especially online or offline home-based business. But get out of school, you do disclosure, and then you're stuck with all this debt. Now that's kind of pathetic, in my opinion. So, I don't want to go on anymore, Patricia. You go ahead and take it away, because I can go off about that in a tangent.
Yeah, well, just educating yourself in general. You know, it's so key to making life's decisions and life's journey. And you can't be 100% foolproof on anything. You know, there's no guarantee. I like the way you say it all the time, Andre. There's no guarantee in life at all. So, but there is, as you also say, do your due diligence in finding out about certain things. And then a lot of things may not be out in plain sight. And it's unfortunate just through experience that you might find out that something is good and might find out something is bad. But, and then what are the parameters to finding out that type of thing? Like I said, you can go online, you can do research, you can ask other people in the company if they're even aware of it, or can be honest with what's really going on. But again, you don't want to stay in that place of ignorance, because you have got to really educate yourself towards what it is you want to do. And, you know, life comes with ups and downs, because just like, you know, my parents' day, my father was always saying, you know, I was in the fashion industry. So he always wanted me to get into a company that had a pension plan, had a long term relationship where I could have the job for maybe 20, 30, 40 years. And the reason why my father wanted that, he never really had that kind of a job. And in his era, my father has since passed away. He died. Now it's going to be, unfortunately, this December, 4 years ago. But he was from job to job, to not by choice, but his mother even started a business in the restaurant business. And she had that for the longest time until, you know, again, the economy changed. So she catered to a lot of people who were working people in a little small factory area in San Francisco, and those would be her clients. But then things changed, and that company shut down. And when that company shut down, even though she had other customers and things, most of the people that were coming and clients into her cafe didn't come anymore, you know. So that happened, what, over 20, 30 years ago. So we have to prepare for what's next. And in this age of technology, information age and everything, it seems so fast paced and so fast moving. How do you keep up? That's the question. How do you keep up with keeping your ignorance at bay, so to speak, and keeping your intelligence level at an all-time high? Sometimes it's hard. Well, that's why maybe networking with a group of people that know the industry and see the movement or the flow, you know, going the wave, so to speak, going this way and that way. You could choose to keep up with the crowd or not keep up with the crowd, or stamp your foot and be your own independent person. So again, how do you do that? I know right now we're going through a massive change in things, and it could be for the better. You know, as they say, as one door closes, another one opens. And that might make us a little bit more leery or weary or worn out, or it might give us the opposite. We might have the energy to take a deep breath and do what we need to do to reboot. So, yeah, keeping on focus and on task, as long as, you know, like I said, no matter what, you've learned a new skill. You've learned a new way of doing something. So whether it's a success or a failure. So that's what I see about it, about learning something and implementing something that you need to learn and do.
You know, you brought up another good point too, Patricia, as far as obviously being the information age and, you know, building this business part-time, and obviously as well working in a warehouse. And another good point she brought up as far as listening to people that are on that area, as far as what's going on in the world, maybe in big businesses. That's the reason why I listen to the Kiyosaki's podcast, or maybe listen to what Tony Robbins might have in mind, because, you know, those guys are have great, good sources as far as what's going on around the world. A lot of the thought leaders there, you have people that are in business in general, whether it be Eric Thomas or Gary Vaynerchuk, Bob Proctor. They've been hearing from other people, from other sources, as far as what's been going on, as far as this information is in general. And going back to my point, working in the warehouse, even talking with some of my coworkers, thinking that it's really going around what the masses would think. Shut up. You ever invest in the stocks and bonds or your 401k? It's kind of like I do cringe every time I hear that, because the paper assets as well. If you have been paying attention as far as big business, what comes up must come down. Jim Rohn said years ago, after expansion comes pretty much just rebuilding, or depression. And then vice versa. That's never going to change. He's mentioning something as far as, after night comes, daytime. That's never going to change. It's the same thing as far as different trends. And that's what I'm trying to get to as far as the business sense, as far as trends. We've been coming up to, but it's eventually going to be coming down, talking about the paper assets, stocks, bonds. Yeah, if you're saying, oh, that's not the case, whatever, go watch trends, go online, say go Google and see what I'm talking about, because I know Patricia and I we kind of talked about this usually always off live, and it really should have happened really a year ago. And I'm not wishing anything bad upon anybody. This y'all can do your own due diligence. I'm not saying that you can beat it, but at the same time, as she just mentioned earlier too, it's a good opportunity to obviously just really flourish. Because it's sad to mention this, because of this, some people also think, oh man, but we're out of recession. Whoever said that we were out of it? So jobs are not going back to the same that they used to be. They're going online. Oh, by the way, information age. So you have to learn a new skill there, and she just mentioned that too. You got to learn, complete different skills. What I've always questioned about the traditional school system, this is something that Kiyosaki called out as well decades ago. Napoleon Hill called this out almost 100 years ago, as far as the school system, as far as want to get people to just have a purpose, what they want to do, and then to have, the skills for outside of just working for somebody. Traditional school system does not teach people how to really be entrepreneurs, really be free-minded thinkers. That's what it comes down to. We talk about, okay, we're a free enterprise country, talking about the United States. But at the same time, why does the school system kind of, train, students to just be employees, and at the same time, if they do want to be self-employed, it's that, and it's sad because the laws here in the U.S., they're the ones that get taxed the most. Kind of strange, though. You kind of really sit back and think about it. And again, do your due diligence about what I'm saying. I'll say, don't take my word for it. This is something I've read. Not an expert in this too. It's sad that I went to school for business. So I do have a business degree, but that didn't mean anything, because I was really embarrassed when I started reading the books or whatever. It was like, oh my goodness, I wasn't taught this in school. Kind of makes me wonder at this. I'm 11 years removed from school in general. That's when I graduated from college. So I'm like, okay, if I'm just 11 years removed, I kind of sometimes ask some younger people as well, just out of curiosity, what they've been taught, and just trying to hear, it's like, as far as whatever subject they were doing, did that help them to be kind of like I just mentioned, be like a free thinker, and at the same time, are they wanting to pursue something that they want? And it's sad because responses that I got were kind of like, no, nowhere near, and it really is. It's sad too. So that's the reason why with the information age, there's really no excuse as far as if you want to go check something out. There are people making a good living online, doing a lot of different investments too, because they did their own due diligence on something. They broke their own ignorance, and it came down to a mindset shift for one. We can talk about different industries you can get into, not just home business, not just real estate. There's so many different ways to just not so much make a living, make a fortune. I'm not going to lie about that. I can see a disclaimer below, because I'm not going to guarantee you as far as either. But the thing is, it's possible out there. So that's the one thing we just wanted to leave out there. It's very possible. But are you willing to just go really just make that mindset shift as far as like, what's possible? Because you might still be in that square box, and I know, because I was myself, As far as, oh man, as soon as I'm done with school, I'm not gonna read a book. I'm done. I'm not gonna do any reading. I just want to just go somewhere just to make money. The only thing I knew I wanted to do is just wanted to play football. I could care less as far as as far as a job or whatever. I knew I wasn't gonna be playing football forever. I know that. But it comes down to something. And again, this is what Keith Sakovich in his books. It's the spiritual part. It's not even so much about the money. I've heard people who are millionaires say the same thing. It's not even about making money anymore. It's just that that's what they want to do. That's the spirit part of their movement. I know that's one thing for me is the last few years, 2 championships. So and now being a home-based business, what's getting paid to say if I were trying to go for the NFL? What's that supposed to, like, the money part doesn't mean squat. It's like, okay, I've won a championship. I've seen people in home-based business make more money than people in the NFL. Call it what it is. I'll never forget my upline, my first company event. He mentioned that to me, and I kind of like, and he's being straightforward. He's like, you know what? There are some people in this profession that will make more money than NFL players. But here the last few years, I do see it because not everybody in the NFL makes millions of dollars. There are guys that make very high 6 figures. I'm not gonna lie about that. I had teammates in college that were fortunate to play in that level, and they mentioned that to me. But obviously, after taxes, you're getting squashed because Uncle Sam's loving them too. It's a different tax bracket. So I'm just being straightforward with you. Why do you have billionaires and billionaires, entrepreneurs, though? Because they're putting the money to, employ people with jobs. This whole bunch of stuff, helping out the environment. It's a whole list of stuff that they do. So people are seeing those people as, bad, evil people. Oh, no. They do a lot of good as far as helping out employers. It's good and bad and everything. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna sugarcoat that. But I'm just saying this in general. For them to get at that success level, there was a lot of service that they did for helping people out. Just being real with you.
And then also, Andre, the athletes are always looking for entrepreneurial businesses on the side because they know that they're not going to be in playing football forever. They need to either invest the money that they're making or start a businesses, like you said, because a lot of them, like, for instance, they'll have organizations that'll help youths, help kids, whether it's into sports, either to help them get into that or pay for equipment or pay for a college degree or education. Whatever it is, they are giving back to the community to help. So they realize that they have to keep, money doesn't grow on trees, even for the richest person. I mean, they could have an accident and playing football and be paralyzed, or something could really happen where now they can't play. So that contract, I don't know, you know more than I do, how long the contract would last if they got injured. I'm sure that's in the contract. If they couldn't play or come back to play anymore, would they pay them off, or they get a certain percentage of that, or what? So they still have to think of something else to be able to do, and for them to get a manager to help them, or again, they do their due diligence to do research and see what other opportunities are out there so that they can have money coming in as an entrepreneur. That's the best way of doing anything, even if you have a 9-to-5 job. And that's what we're really focusing in on too. The average person, not if you're an athlete or a movie star. We already know that a lot of them don't have their eggs in one basket. They've got them, hopefully somebody has helped them to see, or they themselves have read up on that they need to have something else, some other kind of businesses, franchise business, or even brand their name so that they can make more money off of their merchandise, whatever it is. But the average person can do that too. And that's where I think that a lot of people go wrong if they don't think that they could achieve something like that. We just look at what other people are doing, but yet we ourselves don't make the move to do it, to do something. And that's why we're here to tell you that you can do that.
Well, I mean, it also too, it gets to a point as far as, again, damaging your ignorance. As far as, when you start reading personal development books, you start building up that belief, because you just mentioned that too. Some people have that fear whatsoever. It's easy to see TV. That's the reason why I was, kind of getting on media earlier, because it only shows a limited bit of, you know, maybe some type of good. You know, perfect example. This is my favorite basketball player growing up, Shaquille O'Neal. I remember, never forget, I think it was a couple years ago, I read something on Facebook where he got drafted by the Orlando Magic. He got wasted like $1 million like in 30 minutes. Such a ridiculous stuff. His agent was like, hey, you better, you know, basically tighten up, you know, or you're going to be like this, you know, like your other, you know, these other athletes too, they get drafted and swore the money away. You know, and the media have only shown him going back to school as far as getting his degree, which he did, and like working on some, you know, some other degrees as well, which he has, and being, I think, certified too as a, you know, police sheriff or whatever, or an officer, and which he has. But they don't understand too, and they really in the quiet part that this man has invested in several different franchises, has so many, I don't know how many different types of things going on. Like he has his own shoe brand as well. And I remember forget too that, you know, basically hang around the people, again, going back to what Kiyosaki has said in his past books, you know, the cash flow quadrant, we have the E, S, B, and I. He's in the I side as far as an investor, because, you know, they said too, make a long story short, man makes $22 million annually per year off of his investments. So when you see him joking around in commercials or you know, on TV, being an analyst, trust me, that's not paid that type of money, you know, those little commercials, whatever, just being real or whatever. So I mean, it's like, okay, who was he surrounding himself with to get that? I still haven't found the answer for that. And again, like I said, he's still, you know, a great personality too. He's like a goofball or whatever. But the thing is, too, that's just how he is. And the thing is, too, I think he's pretty well set as far as hanging around the right people too, and, you know, having those type of investments like that. So you can't tell me it's not possible. You have to go down some other names as well. You know, have like different franchises. Drew Brees, you know, for the Saints. Peyton Manning before he retired, he has different investments as well. Obviously, LeBron James. This is name alone too. He's surrounded himself with some people. So I mean, come on now. Even though you see those big names too, they have other investments than this. Look at the sport, because the sport, you know, it comes and goes. You know, Peyton Manning just retired a couple of years ago, and, you know, LeBron and Drew Brees, they got a few more years left, and probably LeBron more so, because he, you know, has a few more years left. But he's already set to when it's all said and done with this basketball. So you see where I'm getting at, as far as it's not so much just that sport or that job, or, you know, Patricia just mentioned as well. You know, you hang around the right people. This, you know, just out of curiosity, I mentioned it earlier. I listened to a podcast earlier this week, former NFL player, and I remember watching him play when he was at Oklahoma. So I know this guy, his name is Ryan Broyles, and he said that's one thing that he noticed when he was in NFL as well. I think it was a rookie, like a orientation. They had some people as well as far as, you know, talking about different investments. So he said he went online, said Google, said, what do rich people invest in? And he told Robert and Kim, sure enough, this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad popped up. He did his own research on that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 4 years later after getting that book, he's financially free. So now, he said he's in good shape. He's just playing this to get back to the NFL just because he loves playing, and not so much he needs the money, because him and his wife are financially free. So that's what happens when you just go and investigate, you know, do your research, and, you know, just go and actually just roll the season, get to work. You know, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, it's pretty impressive though, as far as that. What, you got to say something, Patricia, or what? You got to go, or what? Need a second, or what? Somebody here? What?
Oh, my phone is ringing.
Oh.
I have got to go. I'm going to let you finish it out. So, yes, financial education. I was just reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the latter part of the book here, and it is so good. We're going to do next week part of it. So I'm sorry, guys. I've got to go. We're going to let Andre finish it about our education. I've got to go. So I will talk to you guys later. So sorry about that, Andre. I'll let you take it away. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.
All right, we'll see you later.
Sorry.
No, you're right. No, but going back to what we were mentioning earlier, too, as far as doing your own due diligence on something, yeah, go use Google. Don't be ashamed to ask questions. That's the main thing. Again, I keep on saying, you don't have to take my word for it. Go and do your own research on stuff. You know, even check us out. You see the Yes Let Me In? Go check us out to see if, you know, Patricia and I are really the real deal. You know, as far as are we who they are, what they've been talking about. You even see like another link to the right of your screen. It says Online Strategist. That's our Facebook page as well, fan page, business page, however you like to call it. Go and you can go and message us there as well. Different ways just to get in contact with us too, because we really want you to just do your own thinking, and not so much say it because it's cliche, whatever. No, actually put action in behind the thinking. That's what we're trying to imply here so far, as far as just really just going about really doing your research on whatever it is. It's whatever type of investment. And just basically, I'll never forget when I was in high school and college, and you say, always gotta have a backup plan, gotta have a backup plan. Well, this is the thing too with today's age too, and as we mentioned, some other investments too that might need a backup plan themselves, such as paper assets. Why not give it a shot? I mentioned the cash flow quadrant where being employee, self-employed, big business owner, 500 employees or more according to Forbes magazine. Again, you can research that too. You can see if I'm really being true to what that information is saying or not. And then they have the I being investor side, like a Warren Buffett. So something to just really, keep in mind with what we've been talking about so far, as far as looking at these different investments, and really just first and foremost, invest in yourself. That's the first and foremost. That's what we're trying to imply more so. It's not so much franchise. We can talk about franchise, and we can talk about home-based business, real estate, paper assets, even commodities as well. Like minerals, gold, silver, oil, stuff like that. But first and foremost, you're gonna be willing to invest in yourself. Once you do that, you will start damaging your own ignorance. I'm telling you, from experience as well, and it will humble you. It really will. It's not saying that you know everything. If you do feel like you're getting those tangents, such as I do, not to say I'm right about something, but you just ready to stand firm on something. As far as what, no, I'm not gonna go and take this. I'm going to make a stand here. You're going to actually stand up for something. What's right for you might not be right for everybody else. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be lying. Be straightforward with this. A lot of people, some people, real estate is for them. It might be right for them. Home business, it might be right for them. Even traditional business, it might be right for them. Even being an employee or job, it might be right for them, for somebody. I'm not going to bash on any one of those. So again, what I've been saying earlier, don't take it that I've been bashing any of those type of different professions. The thing is do your own due diligence on that stuff. And then also too, for the long haul as well, do your own due diligence as well, as far as, could you still make a decent living once you're done retired if you are working somewhere? Or if you decide to go and sell that business somewhere, but you still make a, decent living as far as, for you and your family or whatever. That's what we're trying to get at. And still do all the luxury stuff they want to do. That's what all we're trying to imply here. And damaging ignorance, simply like I said, is picking up a book. I even do something too that had to do my own damaging of my own ignorance, like I mentioned earlier. Some people might have mixed feelings, but I mean, I actually going to take the time to go on and read this. The Art of the Deal. This is a 30-year-old book, 1987. Well before he thought about being the president. You're talking about Donald Trump here. And, one thing I appreciate, I was kind of confused at first, the first few pages of the book, but he gets stuff done. And that's one thing, too. And then Kiyosaki's collaborated 2 books with Donald Trump as well. And that's one thing, too, that I'll never forget listening to the podcast. Kiyosaki, he mentioned that that's what he liked people that are, successful entrepreneurs, because they get stuff done. They don't be around the bush, don't procrastinate. They get some stuff done. And the first few pages here really had outlined a week of Donald Trump as far as meetings. It was just like bam, 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 bam. I'm talking about literally there would be a period of like from 110 to 120 to 130. Another meeting, another meeting, another meeting. It's just boom, boom, boom. Not beating around the bush, they're getting it done. So I'm just like, whoa, that just really impressed me. Like I said, this is a 30-year-old book. So I can understand where he's coming from as far as like there might be some headaches getting to the White House. And you're dealing with a lot of people that have that employee, the employee, maybe self-employed mindset that might beat around the bush, and he wants to just boom, 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 get stuff done. I understand. I understand that now too. It's like, ooh, again, another thing, you're only successful as the 5 closest people they hang around with. If you heard that phrase before, guess what? That is very true. It's scary true, in a good way or the bad way, however you choose to have it. So again, just really something to keep in mind with, because you want to be very successful. Okay, you might say, well, I don't have 5 people to hang around with. Who do you choose to listen to? What do you choose to read? Who do you choose to follow? Maybe on social media. The different avenues to get a hold, or maybe just get like the little fly on the wall as far as what those successful people are doing, or whether people have gone where you want to go. It's just a way to maybe be like this little fly on the wall. I mentioned some other people earlier, Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, listen go on, Gary Vaynerchuk, Eric Thomas, Les Brown, list goes on and on and on. Obviously, I mentioned Kiyosaki, but the thing is, it depends who you choose to follow. So just wanted to leave you with that. And again, if you got value from what we have been sharing here, let us know. Like I said, you can scroll down and see that yes, let me in. Get a hold of that as well. Just get in contact with us. Just make sure get in contact with us, and we'd like to just connect with you as well to see maybe if you're a good fit for what we have to help you out. Wherever you're trying to accomplish, whatever type of dreams, goals that you have, we like to help. Patricia and I like to help you out, whatever it is. I also have Julianne as well, another partner of ours. Or like I said, go to that link to the right, which is Online Strategist. That's our Facebook page. You can message us there. We'll have to get in contact with you there. So again, if you gotten value for what was shared here, let us know either way. I would say scroll down here, comment below. That's why we had the little Facebook fan page, so you can comment, or like I said, leave us a message, get in contact with us, and let us know that you got value from here as far as damaging your own ignorance. So again, really do appreciate you being here, and we will be back same place, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, or 3 p.m. Pacific time. So with that being said, we will see you then. Have a good weekend.